Okay, so moving on to our brain regions here, their structure and function, we're going to now start talking about the structure and function of the pons. As a reminder, if you look here at this slide, the pons is the part that has this bulging region on the front. This would be the front area of your brain. This would be the back side of your brain. And so the pons is that part that has this bulge out on the front. Now, something that I'd actually like to point out on its structure that may be helpful, let me find the right slide to do that. Okay. In blue here is the pons, and you may notice that the cerebellum is sandwiched right behind it. Okay. And if you remember from our brain model, okay, here's that cerebellum, and we actually have that right and left half. Now, it's the way that this works, okay, is that most of the time the right and left half, they're actually going to communicate by fibers that pass in front of the pons. So the pons would be sitting right here. And so those fibers are going to pass in front of the pons to connect right side with left side of the cerebellum. And so if we actually look here at this figure, notice this is an anterior view, so it's the front side view. You see these fibers going across here, and that's actually helping to connect the right and left sides of the cerebellum. Okay, just like we had for the medulla oblongata, we're going to have nuclei, which are those areas of dark matter, for 4 cranial nerves. Those are nerves directly exiting the brain. We're also going to have ascending and descending tracts. Makes sense. We've got to send sensory information up to other areas of brain and bring motor commands back down out to areas outside of the brain. Then the other thing that I mentioned in the medulla oblongata part is it adjusts the rate of respiration. Okay, and this is typically, or it is, subconscious control. So a lot of time if you're exercising, you may start breathing faster without really consciously deciding to do that. It kind of happens. And so that's actually the pons that's making that adjustment to keep your respiratory rate high enough to be delivering oxygen to your body sufficiently, getting that oxygen into the blood. And so there's 2 regions within that, the apneustic and pneumotaxic centers, okay, and they're going to adjust that basic rate that's set by the medulla oblongata. So again, it's the medulla oblongata. I think of the spark plug that triggers in and out breathing, and then it's the pons that says medulla oblongata, spark faster or spark slower. Okay, so again, you have an activity here to help you learn these different regions and functions of the pons. Feel free to use this activity. I'd also encourage you to get to the point where you can write out the function, but you could also go back and list out these functions for each of these regions by memory.